Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to have a quick look at the driftart chassis, but more importantly how the new dual rate suspension system works with the Moonwalk system that they released about a year ago or 18 months ago on the driftart 3. Because a lot of people are now buying the 4 and putting the Moonwalk on. So the Moonwalk is this thing at the front. So it replaces the 2 carbon fibre system elements. So you'd have a carbon fibre element there, another carbon fibre element here, and then you'd have rods coming off to the like the wheel itself. So what this does is it allows for easy adjustment of the camber. Just focusing on, let's do that. There we go, focuses. So you can do easy adjustment of the camber and the caster. So if you adjust this, it rotates the wheel forward to backwards to give you a different caster. But what I'm getting comments are is the suspension setting on the front once you put the spring in. So on the old spring system, or they're very relatively the same, but this is the single spring set up from the DA3. But the spring itself doesn't move. It's not going to focus. There you go. Focus, come on. So the spring itself, so if I push the top and the bottom down, they don't move whatsoever. So what that relies on is the shock tower itself. So the shock tower, that's off of 3. So what would happen is that come on, focus on the thing, not my fingers. So you'd put the bolt through the top, and then basically that gives you suspension movement. So that obviously the bolt would be through the top, and the lower part of the shock underneath, with the collar stopping it going through the hole. So that's how it works. But what's happening is a lot of people are saying, well, you can't, once they switch it over, that they can't set the springs up. So the springs, they're the same on a 3, relatively easy to adjust. You can see I'm off, so I've got spring on this side, but not on this side. So this side's on the deck. And if you look at it front on, I'm also unequal on the droop on the front. So to make the front stiffer, basically you turn, or to increase the preload, you turn it clockwise. So, or you can do it from the top. I've tightened it up specifically, so you get that on the top, and you turn it clockwise. That will do 2 things. It reduces the droop, or increases the droop, I should say, but also increases the preload on the spring, so it keeps it. So now we should have a sprung front, which we didn't have before. So if you have a look there, so if I adjust it back the other way, you'll see it raises the wheel. And if I come back and add preload, so that's softened it and reduced the ride height. Whereas if I go the other way, I'm increasing the droop, but also increasing the tension. Now you can increase that, like, so if I increase, like, so now it's going to be miles too soft, but if I increase that, so I've got no ride height, but it's really soft, I can then increase by holding the ring at the bottom and undoing the top part, because it's 2 sections to that. I can increase the droop, so I can increase the whole length of the shock to give the droop back. But when it's too soft, you need to keep tighten the 2 halves together so that it all turns, and then rotate to give you your preload so that it comes back down. It's not quite the same. Then I can lengthen the top half of the spring to give me my droop back, so it's almost the same, I think. A little bit out, a little bit tricky doing it on the camera. And then you've got a sprung front. So basically, if you're too soft at the front, just turn it clockwise, make sure that the top and the bottom halves of the spring are tight, or the top and the bottom halves of the shock are tight together. Turn it clockwise. You can also just use your Allen key and rotate on the bottom collar if you want to do that for fine adjustment. When you're running and it's a bit too soft at the front, you can do it with your Allen key at the front. Well, that's basically what you do, and it's the same on the rear. So if you want to change the rear, it's exactly the same. So it's basically you add preload to make it stiffer, and reduce it to make it softer. And ideally, you want it a little bit soft at the back, at the front, sorry, because what will happen when it's under drive is it will pick itself up, and a little bit stiffer at the back so it doesn't squat too much. But it's a little bit of a black art, and it's just running it really. It depends what tyres you've got on it, depends what wheels and what the weight of your body is. So it's all specific to the car. But with the driftart, it's infinitely adjustable. So it's just a bit of a play around really. That's part of the fun of having one. So I'll leave it there. Leave you with a bit of footage of the latest competition that we've run on our group. Enjoy, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.